Hello.
Hey, Tom.
How's it going?
Go Sooners.
There you go, Andrew.
Hi, Kathy.
This is really interesting to see everybody's homes.
Yeah.
Or
I wish I was
office.
home. This is the office.
Hey, Stephanie. She's on the beach.
Yeah, look at that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, everyone. Welcome.
Andrew, you don't sound very good.
I'm feeling fine.
Don't make me run over there and take your temperature now.
No, I'm all right.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey,
Good
Kathy.
morning.
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 Zoom meeting.
Kaya.
Oh, Patty's joining us. Hey, Patty. How are you doing?
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Stephanie.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Would you like to join the meeting?
Oh, got it.
If I'm waving, I'm not going. It's our Tuesday meeting.
Oh, yes.
Say hello, Ruth.
Hey, Ruth.
Hello.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Steve.
Iced tea?
Stephanie, where's your beach umbrella?
You know, I decided to go out. I wanted to get some rays today. So,
What you doing? That's right.
you know, I had a little extra time this morning, so I decided to change the background, make y'all jealous.
It's
worked.
working.
Good. If we all feel better, that's what's
Yeah.
important.
Everybody's home. What? No, actually, I'm not. Been drinking green tea and honey lately. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah. Whoopsie.
Yeah. It should be internal microphone too.
Okay, I'm running to get coffee. Anybody want some?
These new stuff.
Take a
Rain
muffin.
check for hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Hey, while Ruth is there, the butterflies look so beautiful. It's really exciting to see them growing.
Oh, don't they look great?
Yeah,
Yes.
to see it all kind of come together and come downtown. So
Bill has had so much fun with those, and the boys. He calls his teammates out there Bill's boys.
yes,
Oh my goodness, they love growing those butterflies. Yes, they're so proud of them.
awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Can't wait to be able to reveal them
I know.
Us too.
someday. Life will get back to normal.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea what day that will be?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
It's right, Amy.
Epidemiology is one of her specialities.
Well, it is 8:30, so let's go ahead and get started. I know we did have, we'll probably continue to have people join us. Hey, Desiree, how are you?
Hello.
Well, thanks everybody for getting together this morning virtually or through Zoom for our Business Monthly meeting. Aaron, are we doing this on Facebook Live as well too, or is
That's what I was looking at while everybody was talking, and I don't see the same option on the meetings that we had on the webinar for that.
Okay, that's okay. That's not a problem. So we appreciate you all taking some time to carve out and spend a little time with us on the second Tuesday of every month. So Jeff and Aaron said yesterday, let's see, does everybody have their coffee mugs? I love it. I love it. Very nice. Okay. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Virtual cheers.
Well, I can use it in my house, but
So just a couple of little house rules for our Zoom meeting before we get started. We did decide to do this as a Zoom meeting instead of a webinar. So there is the ability for everybody to interact. But since we're all in kind of different environments, the best thing would probably be to mute your microphone if you're not speaking. So if you want to go ahead and try to mute your microphone, if you're not familiar with Zoom, you can look down at the bottom left corner and there should be a button for you to mute. So mute. So if you're not speaking, let's go ahead and mute the microphone. But this is going to be a pretty casual, informal meeting. Aaron and Andrew and I and Jakaya, we have a couple of points that we did want to go through, a couple of items that we want to make sure that we address, but we also really, more than anything, I think wanted a chance for people to get together and have a chance to bring up things that they're thinking about. I'd love to hear, how you're doing, how your business is doing. If there's anything that we can do to help you. So this is really going to be a chance for y'all to talk as well too. I think the first thing that I just want to start off with is just a couple of personal thoughts about the state of downtown. I've been in McKinney since 2003. We moved to the historic district in 2003, and then I started my position with the city in 2006. And I remember in 2003, things were kind of quiet in downtown, but it's a little heartbreaking. It's a little hard for me to see the closed stores. It's a little hard to see the empty parking spaces. And I know behind each one of those closed doors is a person that has a great story, that has invested a lot of their self in their business. And we are going to get through this. I think the best thing about small business owners is that they are so creative and innovative and resilient. And we are I can't wait for our next Business Monthly meeting when we're all together. But I sure do miss you guys. And, we are going to get through this. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I know our staff feels the same way, we love you. We are here to support you, and we're going to get through this. So that's to start it off. Let's go through to, I want to make sure that everybody knows who's all in the room with us. So I think, are we in the same order for everybody's screen? Do you know? Does that, no, maybe not? Okay, probably not. So let's go ahead. I'm going to let Andrew say hi and introduce himself.
Hi, Andrew Jones, Special Events Coordinator, also with Fair and Square Imports.
Fantastic. And then let's move on to Aaron Warner.
Yeah, and hey everybody, good morning. Aaron Warner, Main Street Program Coordinator.
Great. And Maria?
Hi guys, Maria, Hugs Cafe.
Fantastic. Tom?
Tom Meredith, 20-year property and business owner in downtown McKinney.
Thanks, Tom. Kathy?
Hi, everyone. Kathy Blank with the McKinney Chamber.
Ashley?
Hi
Ashley
guys.
Stone.
Hi. Local Yoko here. My camera won't work. I can't figure it out. But so glad to see all of y'all's beautiful faces.
Great. Hey, Ashley. Stephanie.
Stephanie Farrar, the Canine Cookie Company.
Great. Beth. Unmute. Yeah.
Sorry, still kind of getting it. Beth Shoemate with Visit McKinney, and I hope everybody's staying safe.
Patty.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. I miss you.
Ginger.
Kitty Knittery.
Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen with Walls of Clay and the Board Bar.
Great. Desiree.
Good morning. Desiree with Filtered Craft Coffee Culture. And just want to say I'm a little jealous of Vaughn's background. That's pretty darn cool.
Great. Alyssa.
Hi everyone. I didn't want to meet you this way online for the first time, but I would be a new business owner near downtown McKinney with a photography studio.
Great.
That's going to be built from the ground up soon.
Awesome. Oh, great. And Alyssa, where is the location again?
It's going to be off of Anthony and Tennessee Street, about a block from downtown McKinney. I had just joined with the Chamber of Commerce and Kathy introduced me to the group. Yeah, and I think we had discussed earlier too. It's going to be 2,500 square feet with a big sculpted garden space, big loft ceilings, big beautiful studio, and for workshops and education meant just for photographers.
Ah, fantastic. Well, welcome. Glad you're
Thank
here.
you. Nice to meet you all.
Gigi?
Good morning, Gigi with the Go Team at JP & Associates on Louisiana Street.
Fantastic. Corianne?
Still no camera. So weird.
Hi, Corianne. Want to introduce yourself?
There's a button on the bottom that says share screen.
Okay, we'll come back to Corianne. How about Vaughn? Unmute.
Good morning, everybody. This is Vaughn Daniel with the Comedy Arena.
And you're somewhere in the galaxy? Is that what's happening, Vaughn?
I'm actually at the Abor Royales, so yes.
Ah, I love it. Cool. Fantastic. Deandra?
Hi, this is Deandra from the McKinney Chamber of Commerce.
Great. Jakaya?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Hi, Jakaya Brunel with McKinney Main Street and McKinney Performing Arts Center, Marketing and Development Specialist. Good morning.
Fantastic. And Karen?
Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Clausen with Spoon's Cafe in the Garage.
Hi. And Deb?
Hi, yeah, I'm Deb Adler. I'm the GM at Spoon's Cafe in the Garage.
Okay. And Guy? Hello, Guy, are you there? Guy is here with us. And Cynthia? Well, Cindy. Cindy Schneibel with the McKinney. Oh, do you want to go ahead, Cindy, and introduce yourself?
Hey, good morning. Cindy Schneibel with McKinney Community Development Corporation.
Great. And Scott?
Words Home Boutique.
Hi, Scott.
So you're ready to go.
And
I want
Jared?
to call, but I can't seem.
Morning, friends. Jared Bird with the Coffee Reese.
This is where I'm going now.
Great. Welcome. Okay. Did we get everybody? Is there anyone that is that's in our meeting that's not been introduced? Corianne, can you hear us? Yeah.
Now I can hear you. Yeah, sorry, I've been moving around the house. Corianne Etienne with Etienne Market. I have to apologize. I need to go down to Round Top in 21 minutes. So I'm eager to hear what you guys have all got to say in 21 minutes. But keep it up, team. Love seeing all the faces.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The first thing that I want to do is share just with the McKinney Community Development Corporation, they have a contract with the retail coach. And we did send this data graph off in an email, I think maybe last week. But I think it's pretty important to take a look at. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let you see this image. Can everybody see the data graph? Does everyone see the image of the data graph?
No.
No? Okay, hang on just one moment. Here we go. How about that? Do you see it? Yes?
Yes.
So this is cell phone data that the retail coach, again, they have a contract, the McKinney Community Development Corporation has a contract with the retail coach. And this is a graph of cell phone activity in the area. You can take a look here at our wine and chocolate event on February the 7th, close to 18,000 people. And then you can see when some of the COVID restrictions started to come into place, and you can see where we are on April the 1st. It's pretty dramatic. You know, the retail coach did look at other retail areas throughout the city of McKinney, and all of the retail areas did reflect some type of drop. But you can see in downtown McKinney, ours, I mean, we are an entertainment destination of a type. You know, most of our businesses are considered non-essential. So some of those other retail areas that may have had a Walmart or a Target, their numbers don't look quite like this. So this is just kind of a snapshot of where we are right now. You know, I mean, I think we all know this, but, you know, to see it is pretty shocking. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. So we'll come back. So what we have been doing with McKinney Main Street, we've been serving in a couple of capacities. Primarily, our capacity has been as a resource. Our team has worked really hard to put together a list of lots of resources. We're working very closely with the Chamber of Commerce. If you go to downtownmckinney.com, you're able to click a support local button, and there's an extensive list of resources for small businesses. So we're serving as a resource capacity. We're also serving in a promotional capacity. We've had, you know, from our daily drawings, every day on Facebook, McKinney Main Street is purchasing something from downtown McKinney and giving it away as a daily drawing. We also had a fantastic video that we put together that, you know, we're hoping to share out, the little help with our friends. So we're really working hard to promote. And then we're also really working hard to provide some educational and informational resources as well too. Erin had a social media webinar last week that was fantastic. Andrew put together a retail outside of the store webinar the week before. And so those are the three ways that McKinney Main Street is hoping to support you right now: through education, through providing resources, and through promotion. I will say we feel a little helpless right now. It's hard. You know, with the restrictions in place, you know, we're pretty limited in what we can do. We do know that there may be some information coming toward the end of this week about that April 30th deadline. As you know, the state, the Governor Abbott has restrictions in place until April 30th. The city is aligned with those restrictions. My understanding is that sometime toward the end of this week, we may have some insight about how those restrictions, you know, what happens after April 30th. So from our end, we are working hard to hit the ground running when restrictions are lifted, to have some promotional things ready to go. I know lots of y'all are interested about, and us as well too, the construction update. So as you know, about a year ago, the city started on this process to do infrastructure improvements on Louisiana Street. So back last summer, there was a public town hall. People provided some input. Through the spring, there has been more opportunities for businesses to provide input. The project went to bid on March 22nd and is open into bid until April the 16th, okay? And this, they're trying to find a contractor that would handle both phases of the construction. The first phase was scheduled to begin May 18th, or is at this time, May 18th, last through the end of August, and that was to include construction from Church Street into Kentucky Street, okay? So that western portion of Louisiana. The second phase of construction is slated to begin in January of 2021, and last and through, you know, end of August, mid-September of 2021. And that portion of construction covers from Tennessee Street to Highway 5, okay? So as, you know, all of the issues with COVID started coming up, we did pass along several of you reached out to me to say, hey, can we accelerate the construction? Let's get it going. Or, hey, we really need to rethink this construction project. We did share that information with the engineers, with the city manager's office. I think by the time the contract went to bid, you know, these big projects are kind of like a freight train that kind of gotten geared up and it had already left the station. I will say there is an opportunity to express your opinions and to express your input. The council will vote on this contract on May the 5th. Okay, so if you do have some input that you would like to share, the council votes on this contract on May the 5th. And this is the best opportunity for you to help provide your input. You know, there are a lot of mixed feelings about this project. You know, at the end of the day, it will be a beautiful project. We do have materials prepared, Light Up Louisiana. You know, we want to emphasize the end result, but I know coming after coming after this crisis, you know, there are definitely things to think about. So I know construction was on the mind of a lot of people this morning. I'm going to go ahead and let's have any questions, or let's open it up for discussion. Yes, Patty. So go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody. And I forgot to say I'm with Wishful Thinking. So after a fairly good holiday season, I put some money aside in my checking account for unpaid income tax that would be coming due, and also to help myself get through what I assume will be some type of a slowdown in once this construction starts. But at this point, you know, I'm obviously using all of that money just to survive, and but I don't know how I can get past an additional slowdown that we weren't.
Hi, how are you?
I think sending a thing or something because I don't want to
What?
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. I think we just needed to meet someone. So I understand, Patty. I know it's hard to, you know, this was very unexpected. COVID was very unexpected, and using your funds to address that, and then thinking about, you know, the future construction, it's difficult. So what other input about construction can I help answer, or any other questions? Patty, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I have a question.
Okay, Stephanie, yeah.
So if we show up at this meeting on May 5th and voice our concerns, will they take that into consideration as far as delaying, or?
Well,
you know?
I think you need to express your concerns prior to May 5th.
Okay.
And I also, you know, I think there's a couple ways, you know, at some point this project does need to happen, right? And, you know, they're replacing water lines and sewer lines. They're replacing infrastructure that needs to be addressed. So at some point it needs to happen. But during Q4, like pushing this off into, you know, if we were pushing it off until September, that's not a solution, right? So, I mean, is it pushing off, you know, the western portion until 2021 or starting both at the same time? I don't know necessarily about, you know, I don't know if I have the best suggestion, but I think if you do, your best opportunity to express your input is probably now, and it is to your council members. Yes, Patty.
So is there a work session that comes before that May 5th? Where would we would just write to the email them? Okay.
Yeah, my understanding is that I think they'll just get the contract and it will kind of, you know, potentially it could be a consent item, and consent items are when they, you know, have several items that they just kind of all pass through. Typically contracts, you know, depending on what it's for, fall in that consent category. But so I don't know if there'd be an opportunity, and at work session, they typically don't allow people to address a certain topic. That's usually reserved for a council meeting.
And maybe I'm way off. If everybody else feels that it's a good thing, I would certainly go along with what everyone else thinks. And it sounds like no one else is really that concerned.
I've seen some concerned people. So Scott has raised his hand here with the Zoom. So let's go to Scott. Scott, do you want to provide some input?
Asking if Louisiana will be closed completely or one lane for that project.
So part of the contractor's requirements are to keep a one lane open at all times on Louisiana. So there would never be, Louisiana would not be closed at any point during the process. There's always to be one lane open. You know, the approach was that they would work on, I think for the western side, their approach was they would work on the southern part first. So that's the, you know, Nittery, Etienne Market, Last Art Gallery side first, and then they were going to flip to the hotel, Rick's, you know, social living side.
Northern side. Mm-hmm.
Great. Other comments, feedback?
I came in a little late, so I just understanding that you're having a discussion that you we need to go to city council or something about the construction. Can you repeat the very beginning?
Well,
I came in a little late.
Sure. So here's kind of where we are. The project is out to bid right now. The bids close on April the 16th, and then the contract goes to the city council to be approved on May the 5th. So, you know, there is an opportunity for businesses to express their input about the construction project prior to anybody signing the contract.
Well, I think it's important for us to go out there, especially any of us who've been here for a long time, who've been through the other construction projects. Many of these city councilmen weren't around. When the other things were going on. They need to know how it affects the businesses.
Right.
And Corianne had a question there.
Yeah, Corianne, what's?
I was just wondering, in terms of the duration, and not to make it a political point at all, but let's presume that like they can start immediately. Mm-hmm. Are they going to lengthen the duration of the construction to actually adhere to social distancing? Because I see a lot of construction that's clearly not. Or like, has COVID altered the duration of the construction in any way, or do they still think that the timeline is exactly as it was before?
Those are great questions, probably more specific for the engineers. What I have heard is if it were a situation like we have now with businesses closed, that perhaps they could accelerate their time frame, that they might be able to do some things, you know, where if you were open and trying to accommodate pedestrians into your store, but if a business is closed, they might be able to address things more quickly. That's what I've heard. I mean, I can't speak officially, but I did hear that comment.
And then I guess in keeping with that same like social distancing and crowds, I'm just envisioning that, you know, it probably takes a dozen or so workers to, you know, to do the street repairs. So that's already a population of people on a street. Add to that shoppers. How are we as a community going to keep our shoppers and our customers safe when there are already added people? I guess that's what I'm looking for. You know, we are absolutely going to continue private shopping until I know it's safe for our staff and our customers. So I guess I'm just wondering, as a community, let's say the governor does say everyone should get back to work. Etienne Market will continue private shopping. But what about the greater area of downtown McKinney? What kind of thought processes are you going through as a team to kind of manage crowds and safety so that people feel like coming downtown, even if there are, I guess, crowds of people, how are we helping our customers feel safe downtown?
It's 8:56 a.m.
And I'm gonna mute myself now. So, but those are my questions.
Okay, great. Well, you know, recovery is probably going to be a gradual process. I'm sure people's personal opinions about, you know, what they will or will not do, you know, I think that's a little bit to be determined. You know, from our end, I mean, you know, if the streets are open, and I mean, some of that's going to have to fall on you as well. I can't necessarily, you know, we can have signs out for people to help understand social distancing, but in terms of our specific initiatives to make sure that people feel safe, I think signs for social distancing, perhaps sanitizing, hand sanitizing stations. You know, we're just hoping, we just want the people back. We have some thoughts about some concepts this summer. We're looking at perhaps a picnic event where it's an outside event, but it's totally just businesses, restaurants, encouraging people to, you know, dine or pick up food from restaurants in McKinney, in our downtown area. And we would have some picnic tables out for people to enjoy. We do have a sip and shop series coming this summer. You know, we have talked about when we're greeting the customers for that, making sure that there's enough space for them to, you know, check in at a safe distance, maybe making sure that there's an online check-in. So those things are definitely on our radar, Corianne. As to all of the specifics, the nuts and bolts, I think we're waiting to see, you know, how the government is going to allow, you know, what kinds of allowances that they will make.
And I think we did have a question from Scott here. Kind of following up on that, Scott.
Well, it was a different topic on the chat, but did anybody get their SBA loan yet? I mean, we've applied a couple weeks ago, but no word.
I will say for myself personally, because, you know, on the business side, I have a couple of applications out, with one with my bank and one with Cabbage. I've had the opportunity to upload all my supporting documents, and I've had opportunities to kind of, you know, follow up a couple times, but I haven't received anything yet. So I don't know. Has anybody else had anything different?
I haven't, but I have several friends who have.
Okay, great.
Last Friday, I have about 10 friends, all on the East Coast, that all received their money directly in the bank without any notice. It was just like, oh, there it is. So it's coming. People are getting it. Unicorns are around.
I have also heard that, you know, there's been some fear about the amount of money drying up or anything like that. The Treasury did say that they were looking to kind of support it. That hasn't been official yet, but they're still waiting for legislation to be approved to bolster up the PPP program if they need funds. But they still have quite enough, or they still have quite a bit left. But the government is aware that not everyone has had access to the funds yet. So.
Two banks as well. Just, people suggested some banks have access and some don't. And no bank is able to really spend time to tell you what's going on. But
correct.
Good to hear it's happening somewhere, because I want to know it's real.
Yeah. Has everybody also applied for the SBA, the emergency, the EIDL program too?
Economic disaster.
Yeah, because that has it's a grant, basically. It's a $10,000 opportunity. If you say that if you click to apply for that advance is a grant. It's not a loan, and it can be forgiven. So.
Yeah.
Patty?
A 3-day turnaround, but it, once again, it's been 2 weeks. But that 10,000 form is very short and easy to complete.
Correct.
And it was called the SBA EIDL. Is that correct?
I believe it's an EIDL program. And make sure that when you apply for it and you want the $10,000 grant advance, go ahead and make sure to click that. Patty, you had a question, I think.
Yes, I did click for the $10,000 grant, but then did that also put in the general loan? Because I never submitted anything else. It was just like a 2-page thing. So I'm not sure if I applied for the EIDL loan or not. I did apply for the 10,000 and I have a number that is proof of that, but they've not requested any other documents or anything. But do I need to go in and fill out another application?
So when I applied originally, I didn't put in there that I wanted the 10,000 advance. I got an email from the SBA saying, hey, if you do want to apply for this, go ahead and resubmit an application. So I resubmitted my application. And then also on the second application, I did choose to do the $10,000 advance. So if you did, because it's very interesting right now. It's all a lot of stuff's going. They're trying to figure it all out. But I will say that when I first submitted the application, they sent me an email saying even if you had submitted an application previously, go ahead and resend the application with this new streamlined form. And go ahead and do that. So if you hadn't, but it sounds like you have, because it was a 2-page document, and that's all that I have, had, and I got the confirmation like you did as well. So, and I think they're still processing all those. I haven't heard anybody getting. I think the SBA is taking more time than the individual banks. So,
can I comment? The EIDL, so when we first filled out the paperwork, it really looked like the 10,000 was a grant. But it's actually, they've changed the language that it's up to 10,000 and they're paying out 1,000 per employee. So up to 10,000. So if you haven't filled that paperwork out, make sure you're, accurate with your employees. And I have 3, I'm part of a pottery studio network throughout the country. 3 of them received payment this morning, and it is for the EIDL, the EIDL, that goes directly into whatever account information you gave them. And they did receive 1,000 per employee up to 10,000. So it's not just straight 10,000, which is different than when a lot of us applied in the very beginning. The language has been clarified. So I just wanted to put that out if you have not, and it's real because, people that I'm good friends with are receiving it.
Well, that's great news. Thanks for clarifying, Jen.
Yeah.
This is Kathy from the McKinney Chamber. We've got a resource page and there's some webinars. We have one from the U.S. Chamber and it talked about the EIDL and the PPP. And there's also a webinar from Congressman Van Taylor. So there's several recorded webinars that can give you a good overview if you need that. And then there's lots of different links on there that I can share at the end. But specific to the SBA, there's some things on our website for you.
This is great. Anybody else with other questions or just sharing about the whole SBA process, the loan process or the grant process?
Hey, Amy, it's Karen. Listen, y'all do know that there is another SBA loan that's very, very in detail, right? That's where the 30-year loan that you can get. I mean, it's a loan, right, with very low interest, and it's a 30-year payout. Y'all know about that one too?
Share more, Karen. Share more about it.
Well, I mean, it's golly, y'all, I've just got the whole packet to fill out, but it's basically up to $2 million you can borrow over a 30-year payout. Okay, and the percentage rate I think is 3.7 maybe and then it's lower for nonprofits. Okay, so you've got right, you've got the one, the PP whatever, I'm getting all the letters mixed up, that one which your bank will do for you, right? Okay, that you have to go through your bank. The SBA loan, which is up to $2 million, is through the SBA. And that's a different loan than the $10,000 one's just a quick little one, okay, that y'all are talking about. But then you can go, and Congressman Taylor did a webinar on that with the SBA. It's up to $2 million. And y'all right now, you don't have to put up any collateral. I mean, I'm still working on the paperwork, but it's up to $2 million. So at low interest. So what I'm doing is going to ask them to combine my other loans and try to get, because it's much lower interest, right?
Yeah.
And ask for as much as they'll give me, you know. I mean, I don't know what that's going to be, but it's quite, I mean, it's a lot of paperwork, of course. It's like 3 years of financials, blah, 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 blah. But low interest, 30 years, y'all, a 30-year payout. So, I mean, you know, that you can pay. So that's, I would encourage us all to look at any debt. I'm going to put everything I can on that to refinance. Okay. Cause there's no fees associated. The SBA guy that was on the webinar is they're being so much more, lenient, like if your credit score is bad or anything like that. So it's a time to go for that. I would encourage everybody. It's going to take you a little bit getting your paperwork together, but you know, it's just the normal stuff. But you have to go directly to the SBA with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions, y'all just email me and I can tell you what I know.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think there will be several people that send you an email, Karen. And I think this is really one of the best things about our downtown community is that, you know, we are here to help each other and to support one another. So thank you so much for that great information. I will say on a local level, there probably at this next council meeting, which is April the 21st, there will be last week there was a presentation about some local initiatives. As you may have watched the video from the work session, our mayor is feeling he wants to be very aggressive, but financially responsible in terms of some local resources that could be available to our small businesses. So they're still putting together the nuts and bolts, but my understanding is by the end of April, there could be a little bit of a micro grant available to small businesses to help with rent or to help with utilities. And so more information is coming on April 21st. The other thing, Aaron, do you have any other, I know the governor had had a conference yesterday. Any other things that we should be keeping an eye out for?
Yeah, the governor's conference yesterday was a statewide grant available, or I'm sorry, a statewide loan available to small businesses. So again, totally separate from the SBA and all of the other loans that are an option. I think he has $50 million set aside for small businesses with a partnership through Goldman Sachs. So I think it's called, I can send out, or I'll post it, but it's something about Lyft. The name of the loan is something about Lyft. So I'll post the direct link, lyftfund.com, but I'll post that.
But that one's almost the same exact thing as the PP one, guys, the PP, whatever that is. It's just he's giving you an easier, if you can't get through your bank, I mean, I really think, and Erin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the same exact thing. So you've got to be careful to not don't apply. This is what I've been warned. Do not apply for the same thing multiple times. Okay. And I don't, because that's the same thing. If your bank's not working on, or if you can't get your application in for the payroll assistant one, that's what the governor one is. It's the same exact, thing from what I understand.
Well, I went on I followed the link from Channel 11 last night, and the grant portion of it is gone. They said it's no longer available. But the loan portion is, and it was through Lyft, and it was, which I guess is a profit company. And so it was a lot of, paperwork.
I would suggest just trying to, if you have a good bank relationship, really going for the bank, because that PP loan is 75%. If y'all might already know all this, 75% has to go to your payroll, right, over the next 8 weeks after you get the loan granted. 25% of that, though, can be used for rent, utilities, and also interest on loans. Okay, so does that make sense, everybody? I mean, really talk to for me, it was just easier. Mine's already been through, approved. I'm just waiting to sign the promissory note. And that is all forgiven if you use it that way, okay? So if you use 75% of that for payroll, and then the other 25% for your rent, utilities, and I think it's, banks start using all those letters, but it's for the interest on your loans, it's all forgiven. So it's not even a loan. Now, if you don't use it for that, then you have to pay it back. But believe me,
the interest rate is about 1% on that.
Exactly. So, but I can use all that, because I cannot pay back rent and anything like that. So, and also, I was just going to tell y'all, if y'all need a list, because we've got a list of the forms for that SBA, the big SBA loan I was just talking about. We put a list together. So if y'all need that, email me, because it's a lot clearer instead of trying to read all their muckety muck.
Hey, Karen, could you send it to Amy and them, and they just send it out to us?
Yeah, I'll send it to y'all.
Okay. I'm gonna say we're new. I'm Kathy Pollard with Mitzi Sonoma, and we're brand new, so we don't have anybody's emails. And also, the problem we're running into is they want you to be in business, and we've only been in business since November. And so we're struggling.
That's okay though, because it can go through November to February. As long as you were in business February the 15th.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Of this year.
Yep. Yeah, this year. You have to prove that you were in business February the 15th, because they don't want anybody that went out of business last year going back and trying to get money, which makes sense. So you can get for November, I mean, you can still get money. Don't let that worry you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so Karen, do please send me some of this information, and we'll distribute it out to our whole.
Yeah, I'll send y'all what y'all have, because I just think if we can all help each other make this really clear, because that's the one thing that my CPA and I've been working on, get it clear and consistent. When you submit this to the SBA, you're going to get through a lot faster. Okay, so I'll be believe me, details are not my deal. I have to have people do that for me, because I'm like, but I will give y'all everything I have.
Well, thank you. That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. There is something else I do want to bring up. While so many of our stores are closed right now, I think we feel a little vulnerable. On, I guess it was Saturday night, there was some vandalism. Andrew, you want to share a little bit about the Johnson Alley?
Oh yeah, so on Sunday, somebody just graffitied on the side of our building. So yeah, not fun. But we did report it to the police. I think one of the things is making sure to report everything to the police department as soon as possible, so they have kind of records. So if you have any vandalism or anything like that, definitely make sure you file police reports, because that's how they determine how many officers to allocate to areas and make sure routes and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, stuff like that happens.
Yeah. It is. And so if you are coming in to check in your store, please help us keep an eye out for things that look a little bit off. Again, because our traffic is so down, I think we are a little bit more vulnerable to those types of incidents. So I'm so sorry. I hate that for your building. And anyway, but just something to think about.
There is some vandalism on the parking garage.
Yes, I know about the parking, but is it more recent, or is it, do you think?
It's continuous.
Continuous, okay. Yeah, well, thank you for so I know there's security cameras in that parking garage, but.
Yeah, I think it's more kids. So what they're doing is, I think they're drinking and going to the 5th level, and then throwing their bottles onto the Bosco building's roof. Mm-hmm. And it's not really a roof. It's more of a courtyard. And then they're also throwing it off the building to the used car lot that's next to them as well. So they've damaged some cars as well. So.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, I mean, that really covers some of the things that we had on our list to talk about. What else would you like to share? Or
Amy, I'd like to share some more of the resources that the Chamber has.
Sure, absolutely.
First of all, have you guys heard about the several initiatives, McKinney Strong and One Heart McKinney? These are some collaborations between the Chamber, Visit McKinney, Main Street McKinney, McKinney CDC. So Amy's showing her McKinney Strong shirt, and I'll show you the link from our website to McKinney Strong. So I don't know the latest details. Last I heard, there was about $20,000 raised from the t-shirts. There's the red t-shirts and there's a slate blue t-shirt. And so lots of the area companies have been buying them for their employees, or, the Chamber, we bought them, and it's available for the community. And so there will be a process. Half of the funds will go to nonprofits and half of the funds will be going to businesses in the community. So I know Cindy Schneibel, probably Amy, Lisa Hermes, they're more involved in the details of it. But I just want you to know it's a great community initiative. Use the hashtag McKinney Strong to share any information about what you're doing to be innovative during this, this time. But we'll be hearing more detail about it. But, gathering the community together and talking about the positive things that we can do together, is going to help lift us all as you all as business owners, but for the community out there as well. And so we've had a really good response to that. And then I know Main Street McKinney will mail out the shirts. I need to buy the blue shirts for my family. I've got the red one right now. But please share about that and use the hashtag. And then another group that's just newly launched is One Heart McKinney. And basically it's a resource for our community. And basically there's information about healthcare, about jobs, about, different nonprofits, food and housing and rent assistance. All those things are going to be on that website. So those are two efforts that are a collaboration with a lot of the community organizations. So keep an eye on that. And if you have workers, people that you've had to furlough or people that are struggling, you know, or if you're struggling, there's lots of resources there. And then is it okay if I share my screen, Amy, so I can show a little bit about what we've got? I'm disabled, so you'll have to allow me to, I don't know.
You know, I'm maybe one of my fellow, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that.
Give me 1 second here.
Or you guys can also pull up our website and I can walk through it if you want. It's either way, whatever's easiest.
All right, you should be good.
Okay, let me try it. Okay, yeah, I'm good now. Okay, I'm gonna show you my screen. I'm gonna start with, move this out of the way. Can you see my screen?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, so this is our chamber page, McKinneyChamber.com. And I want you to be paying attention, even if you're not a chamber member, there's a lot of things we're doing, just like Main Street McKinney is working with all the businesses. They're not gonna say, oh, you're not a member of Main Street McKinney, so we can't help you. We wanna help the entire community. So if you click on the link, which is the COVID-19 page, you'll see our blog. There's links to the city. There's business and community resources here. So here's some of the webinars. We have some webinars for you, such as how to work remotely, how to use technology, how to lead your organization through change. We've got some upcoming webinars that are posted here. We've got some recordings, like I talked about, webinars that either Congressman Van Taylor or the SBA or the U.S. Chamber have put together. Here's a link to the McKinney Strong T-shirt campaign. Here, I want you to pay attention to restaurants and retail. So we have a link for restaurants, and I'm gonna, since we've got a lot of retail stores, I'm gonna click on the link here. Here are a lot of the retail stores that we've listed, and I know Main Street McKinney is keeping a list of the retail locations specific to Main Street. But if you'd also send some information to us and we can try to coordinate, we want to list any retail store, how you're providing services. And basically we have a link to your store, and then we try to put as much information as possible on here. But it's not going to be like your hours or things that changing. It's more of like the high level picture. So, you know, like Etienne Market, they had given us some updates. There's a link to their website. So please let us know, and on the chat, I will put our information, but our communications manager's taking advantage of building this out for you. So we want to get the word out. There's lots of other resources from the government, you know, explanations, there's grants, information for renters, education, childcare. And then here's like a whole section if you're working remotely, how to use, you know, use the resources. So I want to make sure you guys are really aware of that. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Also, if you guys will share with us any news stories, anything you're doing. I know Beth just did a call out for activities for kids and families and innovative ways you're doing business. The media is dying for really great stories to kind of, you know, combat all the, you know, the negative news, the, you know, sad news that's out there. So anything you guys are doing collectively or individually, please share with obviously Amy, Aaron, and Andrew, but also with the chamber, because we want to share those stories as well. So those are just some of the things I wanted to share. And again, even if you're not a member, we are here to support the community at large and all businesses. So obviously we're going to have more resources for our members, but we are here to help the entire community stay strong and, you know, really come out of this and, you know, get back to business as usual.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathy. Hey, everybody, take a minute to make sure that you look at the Zoom group chat. Kathy's got a link to that page over there. You know, as mentioned, Beth has a list, or she's got a call out for activities for families. I think about Stephanie's a really cute kit, you know, for home to make stuff at home. So take a look at the chat on the side. Also, there was something else I thought from.
I think Scott had a question.
Yeah.
Scott, if you want to unmute and you can just kind of share that with what you were asking about. I guess his question was if restaurants are not allowed to have seated customers, how will we get customers downtown? So
I know. Yeah. Well, and some of those restrictions are just beyond even a city level. I mean, they're coming down from the state and from the federal government as well. So, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think I heard that. Did I not hear the governor say yesterday that even when, as the restrictions are being lifted, that they will still be limiting the number of people that will be allowed to come into a business, and like they're doing with grocery stores and whatnot now, that, I mean, it's going to be a process. And so it's going to take a while, even when we're quote unquote back to something called normal. So I think that, we have to keep that in mind, that it will be a process. It won't be open the door and come on in, everybody.
Yeah. No, it is going to be a gradual process. And I don't know the specifics of what those limitations might look like. But as soon as we have information, we'll help share that out to the group as well. We have about 4 minutes left. I did want to see if Vaughn, do you want to share about what the Comedy Arena is doing on Saturday night?
Yes. So, hey everybody, Vaughn Daniel at the Comedy Arena. We are actually taking our shows virtual. So we've done about 3 or 4 different virtual free shows online where people can basically donate anything from $1 to, we've had somebody donate $100 to just watch some virtual comedy. So we've done a few different types of show formats. But this weekend, what we've done is we've built a show format called The Fibbers. Basically what it is we are reaching out to some of the merchants here in this group as well as the Facebook group. And what we're doing is we have 3 guests. I think Corey Ann is one of our first guests. We have Mike from Arcade 92, and we have Shadow and Lynn from the comic book store. And basically they're going to be on a panel, and we have professional comedians that are going to be asking them questions and to see if they can figure out if they're lying to them. So we have some questions that are built for them. And we will quiz them to see if they're telling us the truth or a lie. It's like 2 truths and a lie kind of thing, but it's really not. It's questions that we've built specifically for them. So it gives them an opportunity to introduce themselves to the community or to the world, and also promote their business and kind of still stay relevant. And since all the businesses are different and we all have different audiences, by them individually promoting it, they'll reach customers that they probably never would have before. So they'll have an opportunity to share what they do, what they sell, their URL. And it's just a fun way of people just kind of connecting on that front.
Fantastic. What time is the show on Saturday night?
I believe it's at 9. Jared Berger, also one of my partners, he's on this Zoom as well. If you want to pop in, Jared. 9:30. Thank you.
9:30. Great.
9:30. So you can check us out at thecomedyarena.com. Just go to our show tickets link, click on that, and then you can it'll just register you for the Zoom, and then you can just partake and just kind of watch us. It should be a lot of fun. And we're going to try to do one every single week. We have it listed on the Facebook group. And thank you for those that have already reached out that wanted to participate. We're going to go ahead and add you guys as we progressively go through. So just a little bit of fun reaching out to each other.
Great. Lots of thumbs up. Anything else that we should cover or talk about before we sign off?
Amy, just to get the creative juices going, I know I want to call Aaron and talk about this individually, but the first week in May is Small Business Week, and it sure would be cool if we could think of some ways that we could highlight small businesses. The chamber, we typically will do like a trolley tour, and we'll go around visiting stores, and obviously we have to be mindful of, what status we're in. But let's say we're still aren't able to go. What if we did like the chamber, we're talking about a caravan of our cars visiting different businesses. And of course, as a chamber, we have to go to all corners of the city. But what I'd love to do is coordinate some kind of effort specific to downtown McKinney that we can incorporate, obviously any of the merchants and, the leadership of Main Street McKinney. Can we do something fun and interactive through something like that. So that first week in May, typically we'll do it on the Wednesday where we'll do, so as a chamber, we're talking about our 9 staff caravanning around the city. And we could either say, okay, let's pick a day and let's focus on Main Street, McKinney, and do something. But I really would like you guys to be creative and thinking about ways we could leverage that together. And really, I'd love to have this be a very newsworthy story that gets out. I'd like to, have us be the best at it from anyone in the Metroplex, but it sure would be a great newsworthy story if we could band together and think of some creative things to do for Small Business Week.
Absolutely. Well, we'll put our brains on it, Kathy, and if there's any input too from the group, that's terrific. We'll make sure we can come out with something fun and great for Small Business Week. Sounds like a plan.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, guys. Well, again, thanks for taking some time to be with us for our business monthly meeting via Zoom. Y'all did terrific. I'm still learning how to do this, but I miss everybody so much. Please stay well, stay healthy, and I can't wait to see you very soon. So thank you again.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.